Hi. So you know how they say tragedy plus timing equals comedy? I got some comedy. It's more like tragedy, but at this point we can turn it into comedy. So I met a man, well, let's say an overgrown child in 2007. He just turned 28 years old, and I was 39. Yes, I was 39. And yeah, I was fixing to turn 40. We're 12 years apart. And so when I met him, neither one of us really were in a good place. I was a heavy drinker. He, if I look back now, had a porn problem. But in 2007, you were kind of limited. Not like you are now, where it's just everywhere for free. And but his porn problem came in sprinkles. I mean, this man-child had these little books. I don't think people really use them now. Little calendars, little like pocket calendars that, because the kind of work that we did, he needed it for every day. He would write down how many hours he worked and the overtime and what dorm he was in, and so it wasn't uncommon for any of us to have these little calendars. Well, besides his work one, he had an extra one, and in that he would put who he would meet up with, these random girls in their 20s somewhere, and have sex. And so we started seeing each other. He had his own house, and we drank a lot. But there's no easy way around that. We drank a lot, and we had a great time. And what brought us together was the fact that, the best sex is a 40-year-old woman and a guy in his 20s. Trust me, it was never ending. And we had the best time. And the following year we got married. I was 40. And he was 29. Let me think, 79. Oh, yep, I was 40 and he was... No, I can't remember. Wait a minute. In 08. No, I was 40 and he was 28 when we started dating. Then I turned 41. Yes. So I was 41 and he was 29 when we got married, and had the best wedding. The best wedding. Oh my gosh. 4:00 in the morning. So we got married on his sister's property, which was like, I think 8 acres, 5 acres, something like that. Dead end road, out in the country. And 4:00 in the morning, we're shooting off guns, powder guns, shotguns. That was the kind of environment, that we lived in and we had access to. And none of us went to bed till like 6:00 in the morning. We lived right next door to his sister, so we just could walk our happy ass home, happy drunk ass. And but it was the best wedding, the best. It was amazing. And started living our life. And so we had different off days, and it was one of those very playful. I would dress up when he came home from work. I would be in something. Of course, I'd been drinking and just sex. It was just sex, you know. And we had a good life. So the years go on, and after a couple years, I decided we needed a serious career change. So in 2010, we left where we were, because I met him at work, and we left that and decided to become truck drivers. So we drove teams, went to a company together, went to school for them, hired in as a team, found out they were a shitty company and only lasted about 30 days, and up and left them. And went to another company. He hired in first. He had to get more seat time, so he went out with a trainer. And so then whenever he got done training, I went on as just a passenger. And then after a couple months, amazingly, they allowed him to become a trainer so he could give me my seat time. I had to do 30 days again as a student, and he was training me, and he'd only had like 3 months worth of experience. So, you know, this is 2010. And then we finally got cut loose to drive his teams, and had an amazing run. We got into a dedicated account, and we ended up moving from where we were to another state, that state being Florida. And we got into a dedicated lane, and all we did, for the most part, when we couldn't catch one of those loads, it would change a little. All we did was run from Florida to California and back every week. That's all we did. 5,000 miles in 5 days. And made amazing money. Just could not believe it. And then as time went on, we stayed with them for a few years, and then we came off to run local, and then we moved back to Kentucky, which is where we originated from. I'm from Florida, he's a Kentucky boy. And settled back into Kentucky, and then an opportunity came in 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. An amazing opportunity came along. That was a childhood dream of his that he couldn't pass up. So he did that. And it was almost the equivalent, what he did was almost the equivalent of working for NASCAR. It was almost, not quite, but in this small town, you would think that it was NASCAR. So he went and did a little bit of that, and then I had the opportunity to do it a couple of times, which basically meant running from, we live 5 minutes from Indiana, running from Indiana to Seattle, Washington, with equipment, and coming back. Oh my gosh, what an amazing view, what an amazing drive. The best part about being a truck driver is just the views. So I did it a little bit, but he did it more than I did, and it changed him. It absolutely changed him. He became, and I didn't know it. If I look back right now to 2018, early 2019, it had changed him. And I didn't see it because I was changing. I had went the path of why are we here? What are we supposed to be doing? We're not here to buy shit to impress people that we don't like. There's got to be something more to life. I went down that path. And I got into meditating. And then he reluctantly got into meditating. And we were just happy souls. Happy. You know, he was doing what he loved and I was just living life. And, oh, the way you look at me. Hi, baby. You're such a good boy. Feel his little tail wagging. I love you. So, I had a lot of questions about God. And we would have a lot of conversations about God and law of attraction and how does it all fit together, the puzzle pieces. And for whatever reason, in 2019, early part of 2019, mid part, I don't know, him, out of the blue, asked me if I wanted a divorce. Do you want to get divorced? Now, if I was to go back before that and preface that question with this statement, I had been talking to him about wanting to move to a small town in Tennessee where my mom was from and where I still had some cousins. And I can't think whether or not he was interested. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember. But so when he asked me if I wanted a divorce out of the blue, I didn't say anything. I was kind of frozen in my happy self. And I thought, what? And I didn't say anything. I didn't say yes or I didn't say no. And he goes, I'll give you a divorce if you want a divorce. And somehow we just, I don't even remember. And I was like, okay. And he instantly had a panic attack. Over the top. Throwing himself on the bed. Could not breathe. Crying. But it was like, you're the one that asked me. If you wouldn't have said anything, we would still be married. Now, this bothered me the way he suddenly was reacting because I had an ex-husband. Well, I can't say he's an ex-husband. I had a husband that committed suicide after I left him. That was not a good relationship. It was one of those where I was not going to come home and say, hey, I want a divorce. Not going to happen. I had to leave while he was at work. And about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks after I left, he unalived himself, I guess I have to say. So I had that fear with the way my husband was reacting. And he's like, I won't do that. And so we still carried on like we loved each other up until the day I moved out. And I packed up all my stuff and I went to Tennessee. And I kind of struggled there on where to live. I went to my cousin's house, and then I left my cousin's house to go to her stepfather's house, my uncle through marriage, but my aunt had passed away years ago. Ugh, he was creepy. That's a whole nother story. And so I was struggling there because I had 2 dogs and he was getting too handsy. And so my now ex-husband was calling me constantly, texting me, always wanted to talk, wanted to come see me. And I could feel the vibe wasn't right. Like, I was still meditating. I was basically living out in nature. I mean, so the energy for me was just electric. That's what being out in nature does. It amplifies the right energy. And he was off ripping and running, doing his little, equivalent to NASCAR. And so whenever we have conversations about how, I don't feel your vibe is right, it was more of a desperation vibe. He got back into meditating, and I could just feel his energy shift. So I caved, and I let him come see me. And he stayed. And then he'd go back to do his little summer side gig, NASCAR, And then our life kind of started changing. But I think I'm gonna have to do this storytelling in stages. But I still have 6 more years to tell you what happened. Not that I'm gonna do it over 6 years. The story doesn't end for another 6 years after 2019, which is this year. But I'm going to share it with you. I think it's a story that, I think it's experiences that somebody might need to hear. We're all going through stuff. And it's how we come out the other side. So we'll finish this story tomorrow. So I hope you'll come back and see me. This is Rumi, the poet, RUMI. 4. And he is just my soulmate. Yes. He's got me through a lot. I think that's what our animals do. But he's got the god awfulest breath. Oh my God, it's just horrible. Right, baby? Yep. So I hope you'll come back and see me. Might be therapeutic for both of us. Cathartic for me. We'll see. I love you.